Hi, my name is Kris Hudson at Martin Deerline. Today we're going to talk about straw options with the Advanced Powercast tailboard on the S-Series combines. This goes back to the S6s and S7 series combines. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about some pre-season maintenance. You just want to make sure your chopper hammers themselves. There's a hard surfacing on the knife side of the hammer. You just want to make sure you're not worn too far into that hard surfacing. If you are, then it's time to start replacing. You got to replace these in sequence or you're going to get a vibration on your chopper. If you want to come around the back side of the chopper, we'll talk about the knives themselves. Now that we're on the back side of the chopper, we're going to have a look at the condition of the knives. If you are having to replace knives, you can pull this whole bank out and you can actually turn the knives around. What you're looking for is you're looking for a groove wear into the combine side of the knives themselves. If you're getting that groove, just pull the bank out, flip the knives, and put it back in. The condition of these knives makes a big difference for horsepower on the combine, and also how much the knife bank is in the combine makes a huge difference for horsepower. If start at about halfway, and if you find your chop job's doing a good job, then start sliding that knife bank out until you start getting a little poorer quality of straw chop, and then adjust from there. Good recommendation is to go half or less. That'll save some horsepower on your engine. We're going to talk about different options for straw with the Advanced Powercast tailboard on these S-Series combines. You have the option of dropping straw and chaff together in this configuration right now. So all we've done is just lifted the chopper up, and then we put the chopper in neutral on this side here. Dropped the cover and shifted the gear shift. You have other options of dropping straw out the back, which we'll show you in a minute, and then you have the option of dropping straw out the back and then spreading the chaff, which we'll show you here in a minute. In this configuration right now, we can spread the chaff out the bottom side of the chopper here, and then you can have the straw come right off the rotor over top of that overshot beater, and then actually have the straw come right down this chute here. If you're finding that your windrow is a little too tight here, coming down with these fingers, you can actually tie these fingers back, and then you get a much wider swath with your straw. Another option is you're able to adjust the vanes on the back side of the rotor. So instead of having that straw go through the rotor 7 times, it'll advance it so you can go through 5 times and you get less grinding of your straw. The other option we talked about in an earlier video is you're able to drop those spacers on the separator grates down into the corn position, and you can get less jamming of your straw. So you should have a better straw quality by doing that. Now this is the final option if you don't want straw. Everything coming off the rotor and off the cleaning shoe comes right through the spreader here, the back side of the chopper. These plates here adjust for your width of header. So if you have a 30-foot versus a 45-foot header, you can adjust from the cab this width. And then also you can adjust the speed of this spreader to help with width also. Another couple options with the back side of this Advanced Powercast chopper, which is kind of nice for diagnosing combining problems. With the door open, you're able to check rotor loss coming out the back side of the combine, throw a pan underneath, and you can actually catch what's coming out of the rotor versus what's coming out of the shoe. So if you had your spreader going, you could spread the chaff coming out the back, and you could have the straw coming right back down the bottom side of the combine. So you could diagnose a rotor loss problem versus a shoe loss problem. The other thing you should do at the end of season, it's not a bad idea to take this plate off, it just bolts all around the outside, and clean all the straw that collects on the inside of this shield. So now that we're in the cab, we're going to show you how to get to the Residue Management page. There's a couple different choices. You can go Menu, Machine Settings, go down to Residue Management, and it brings you to the same screen. Or from the home screen, you can use a shortcut button, and it'll bring you to the page. So in chop mode, which is everything coming off the rotor and the cleaning shoe into the spreader and chopper, you can adjust the width to match your header, or you can adjust the speed of the spreaders at the back. You can also adjust the direction to compensate for wind, and then you can just push swap and it'll go to the other side. From here also, if you want to windrow the straw off the rotor, which was that door we had open, just push the button and it'll change the door. If you want to change your separator vanes from a standard to advanced, you have to have the rotor off, push standard, and then that'll adjust your amount of times the straw or material goes through the rotor.